So we begin the day with very subdued cues. The SGX Nifty is absolutely quiet. You have good earnings and bad. So on the good side, there's of course HDFC Bank. On the weak side, there's Avenue Supermarts, multiple downgrades there. So our research team is joining in to help us with the list of top 10 stocks. First up, of course, HDFC Bank tops the list. Abhishek, over to you.
Well, it's a strong top-line growth for HDFC Bank, Sonia. So the NII growth of 24.5% YOY is perhaps the best that you are seeing in 14 quarters. And the sequential growth in NII was at close to 9.5%, which is the best in last 7 years or even more, 28, 29 quarters. So the core operating profit growth has bounced back. It is coming at 19.3% YOY, which is the best in 6 quarters, and about 6.3% sequential growth, which is the best in last 8 quarters. The ROA or return on asset is at all-time high of 2.24%. Asset quality has remained stable. Both gross NPA ratio and net NPA ratio are flat on a sequential basis despite slippages hiccup. OPEX has remained elevated given the fact that the bank has opened 841 branches in 9 months, which compares to 734 branches that they opened in the whole of FY22. HDB Financial, now over there also, the PNL has improved. They have reported profits of north of 500 crore, which is up 65% YOY and more than 6% sequentially. This is on the back of the fact that their gross NPA ratio has declined by 115 basis points on a sequential basis. So both in terms of NI and PAT, HDFC Bank's results have beaten our poll. Back to you.
All right, Abhishek, thank you very much for that. So that's the key name to watch out for as we open up today. Now, Wipro reported numbers as well. It's perhaps the worst performing IT stock. It is the worst large cap performing IT stock. I would say there was a sliver of expectation that maybe they'll be able to do something this quarter. Doesn't look like it's turned that way. Rima is here with more details. Rima, hi, morning.
Hi, morning. So the Wipro ADR ended down 1.3% at a time when the Nasdaq closed up in the green with a gain of 0.7%. So Wipro ADR underperformed in the US markets on Friday. So that gives you an indication. In terms of numbers, it was a mixed bag. Q3 revenues missed the mark. It was a muted growth at 0.6%, lower than consensus expectations and also lower than what peers have reported. If you look at the revenue performance of the 4 large IT companies, Wipro is at the bottom with a 0.6% revenue growth. The next quarter's guidance is also muted at -0.6 to +1%. And the miss in the revenues has come despite very strong deal bookings. So the deal wins this quarter were at $1 billion, higher than the average that we've seen over the last couple of quarters. The total deal wins were also at record levels. Q3 margins, on the other hand, have beaten street expectations. Very strong showing there. Margins expanding by 115 basis points to 16.3%. And the management indicated that these margins, Q3 margins, could be the base going forward. So which is why some brokerages have gone ahead and increased the EPS estimates for Wipro because of the margin showing. But on the whole, it's a muted performance. Jefferies underperformed rating. Nomura has a neutral rating, while Kotak has a reduced rating. And this is despite valuations being lower than peers. Back to you.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot for that, Rima. Well, Mangalam joins us to tell us about Avenue Supermarts. Well, Mangalam, those numbers look quite disappointing.
Well, the numbers were weak on Avenue Supermarts. No two ways about that. The EBITDA and the net profit both missed estimates. In fact, the margins, both gross margins and EBITDA margins, were at a 7-quarter low, and this at a time when the festive season was something that was expected to lift sentiment, etc. Revenue per square feet is still below pre-COVID levels. If you just take a look at the numbers, revenues of 11,569 crores, largely in line with expectations. But then again, those expectations were based on the company's third-quarter update itself. What the company did not speak about were the EBITDA as well as the net profit. And on those fronts, they have missed street expectations. The company themselves has said that discretionary non-FMCG sales, the higher margin products for them, have not done as well as expected. And as a result of which, we've seen a few downgrades as well. For DMart so far, it traded at elevated valuations, and Nuvama has gone ahead and said that they've cut the target valuation to 55 times EV to EBITDA, as again 60 times earlier, and they believe this can go further if the company does not, support on the growth front.
All right, and multiple downgrades, as you said. Morgan Stanley cutting their price to 3853, UBS cutting their price to 3530. So we'll keep an eye out on this stock. But Abhishek is with us to talk about L&T Finance and how the Q3 performance shaped up. Abhishek, over to you.
Well, they continue to distribute money, so disbursals continue to remain strong, up about 33% YOY and more than 19% sequentially. However, this is not translating into AUM growth. So in last 8 quarters, they have disbursed nearly 80,000 crore, while their AUM has declined by more than 11,600 crores. AUM growth continues to remain weak, up about just 3.4% YOY, and it has declined by more than 1.8% sequentially. This is despite the fact that even their focused AUM that has declined this quarter, which is a negative surprise. So ROE continues to remain weak at about 8.4%, which means that the capital is underutilized even now. Net interest margin, however, on the positive side is at all-time high of 7.4%. So X of exceptional items, there are various adjustments over there. The PAT is up 39% YOY and about 11.8% sequentially. And asset quality, slight hiccup over there, 19 basis point increase in the gross NPA ratio on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Abhishek. Well, going back to Rima. Rima, how was Just Dial's numbers? Looked quite good.
It looks good. It's a strong showing. Revenue growth 8% quarter-on-quarter. Year-on-year, it's almost hitting 40%. Margins expanding for the 4th consecutive quarter. That's driving a 44% jump in the company's profitability. Paid rear campaigns, that's the key number, and that's seen an increase of 19%. And plus, Just Dial is a cash-rich company. The cash in the books is 3,900 crore. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot for that. There are some more stocks that are in the news. Ekta is here to give us a lowdown. Ekta, over to you.
Thanks for that. Well, I'm tracking 2 pharmaceutical stocks. Dr. Reddy's, which has acquired the trademark rights of the breast cancer drug by Pfizer in India, which is going to go off patent just a couple of days from now. So that should be a sentiment positive for Dr. Reddy's, but there's a lot of competition which is expected in this particular drug. And secondly, Lupin, where their Somerset facility has been inspected by the US FDA, issued 2 observations. So that's definitely a positive, and hence the stock should probably be in the green.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Ekta. Well, I'm tracking 3 stocks. That's Tata Steel, Sagar Cement, as well as NCL Industries. Let's start off with Tata Steel. There's a non-cash impact, but it's a sentiment positive that's come in. The British Steel Pension Scheme with Tata Steel UK, well, as sponsor, they have completed a substantial part of its de-risking journey. 60% of its liabilities are now insured by an insurance company. Earlier, it was at around 25%. Investec, they're positive on the stock. They say that Tata Steel's move on the incremental pension scheme buy-in and commitment to 100% de-risking pension, there are significant positives. And this addresses one of the key legacy issues with regard to that Chorus acquisition. So that's about Tata Steel, a sentiment positive coming in, expected to open up in the green. For Sagar Cement, well, they have been declared successful bidder for Andhra Cement. Remember, we had a bit of a preview earlier. Now they are saying that the resolution committee, they've gone ahead and said that, yes, the LOI has been issued out there. How is it positive? It consolidates their position in Andhra Pradesh as well as Telangana. The grinding capacity goes up by around 20% to more than 10.5 million tons odd. And also the stock trades at comfortable valuations of around $60 per ton. Finally, NCL Industries, smaller company, but they delivered a good growth on a lower base, a 27% dispatches growth. Valuations as well in their favor, so expect that as well to open up in the green. But let's run you through a quick recap of all the stocks we just covered. Stocks with positive news flow include HDFC Bank, Just Dial, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin, Sagar Cements, NCL Industries, Tata Steel, as well as L&T Finance. While stocks with negative news flow include Wipro and Avenue Supermarts.
Okay, so plenty of stocks to talk about, but let's also get you a grip on what's happening in the world of commodities. Manisha Gupta is joining in for a roundup of all the action there. Manisha, how's it been over the weekend?
Well, it's a long weekend, especially for U.S. markets, so expect a slightly weaker trade in the day-to-day. But having said that, we have seen some profit-taking come in for the crude oil prices. This is after 8.5% of gains in the previous week. But the dollar index at a 7-month lows, pick up in China demand. And the markets are also watching out for the OPEC meeting now in the month of Feb. The latest statement from them is what we will see moving the markets. The best of the gains continue in case of the metal prices. You have Dalian iron ore prices now trading at a 17-month highs. Copper is holding around at its 7-month highs. The gold prices have continued to surge up, now holding above $1,900 per ounce, which is a 9-month highs for gold as well. And silver prices trading at an 8-month highs above $24 per ounce. So the weakness in US dollar, almost a possibility, a certainty that you are looking at a 25 basis point rate hike is factored in by the metals, and that's what giving them that edge.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. We'll take a very quick commercial break here. Up next, our market expert Prakash Diwan will be with us for some fundamental stock talk. Later, we will connect with Kajal Gandhi of ICICI Direct to discuss the third quarter earnings of HDFC Bank, which came through. Stay with us.